it was the spring of '08, and we just got done watching some high school basketball, finishing off our season, and it was a good Division III game. We got out of the Kohl Center, and we knew that we had to partake in one of the greatest traditions of Madison, the eating of the ice cream. And we knew that Madison possessed the greatest ice cream on earth from Babcock Hall. And we were coming out of the Kohl Center. We knew we had a limited amount of time with the next session coming up. We also knew the ice cream was worth it. So we crossed University and we headed to the Student Union.
You have to get either over or around Bascom Hill to get from the area he was at the Kohl Center watching state basketball to Babcock Hall. He originally went to Memorial Union, where they will sell Babcock ice cream, but Babcock Hall was closed that day because it was during spring break for the students.
We got to the door that cold day. It was locked.
And my phone rang, and he asked me why my union, since I attended the University of Wisconsin, wasn't open. And I said, well, I don't know. They're on spring break. And he said, can you get them to open it for me?
I didn't see it coming.
So he had to go away from the union and then go to the other side of Bascom Hill, Hill being the point of emphasis. So that's the reason that he had to go. He didn't necessarily have to even go over the hill. You can walk around it if you walk along Lakeshore Path.
There was only one way. We had to climb. There was only one way. It was 3:45. Babcock Hall closed at 4 o'clock. There was no way we could get back to the vehicle. There was no way. There was just no way. I looked at Mr. Heesh and I said, we're going to have to try it. We looked up. We could kind of see Bascom Hall through the haze at the top. The flag kind of poked out of the lower level of the stratonimbus clouds that surrounded the peak.
There are 44,000 students at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and probably at least 2/3 of them have to climb that hill at some point every day. Having done it countless times myself on my way to any number of classes, it's not something that you even are left short of breath after completing.
I was a little dizzy because of the altitude. It was hard to see shapes. It was hard to see the outlines. I could make things out, but I couldn't tell if it was real. I couldn't tell if it was imagined. It's like ghosts in the mist.
If it was a triumphant victory, I would expect that those 44,000 students would be constantly jumping when they got to the top, celebratory style, kind of like Rocky when he gets to the top of the City Hall in the first Rocky movie. And none of them do. They get there and they just keep going to class because they didn't really notice that they were climbing a hill.
I heard some growling, I'm pretty sure. But it was hard to make out shapes. A lot of things running through my head that moment.
The only safety hazard is the stray frisbee from the hippies on the lawn playing frisbee that may get away from them and hit you while you're walking, because it's flat enough that people play frisbee on the hill.
And I pushed forward, pushed past the pain of the climb, the fear of the loss of my comrade.
So Mr. Heesh and Mr. Saylor definitely have some older hamstrings. So I can understand that a 4% grade may be more difficult for them to overcome than, let's say, everyone else.
And I pushed forward. And I climbed, and I staggered. I staggered to that door at 3:59, grasping that handle. The handle of success, of man's incredible, undeniable ability to overcome his odds and open that door to the sweet justice and the sweet love of ice cream.
For him, I can see the ice cream potentially as being a reward in his mind. Like, hey, I climbed this very moderate, I think 4% grade, and then after burning all of those 40 calories that we figured out that it takes to climb Bascom Hill, I will now gorge myself on an 800-calorie ice cream. I can see where he could think of that as a reward, but to be fair, he would have to climb the hill up and down probably 20 plus times to get anywhere near the calorie burn to actually constitute the ice cream. So it's kind of like he was rewarding himself for thinking about exercising.
Bascom Hill, she's a beast. She's a beast.
I would never compare climbing Bascom Hill to any mountain
Mount Everest,
I have climbed
K2,
on any continent.
they've got nothing on this creature at the center of Madison that has stood in the way of progress. But we would not be stopped that day. It's not made for the living. We didn't see people. It's not something that anybody would ever brave.
They did a thing that everybody always does.
It's a obstruction. Nature's call. That she's still there. That Mother Nature is still there and in control of the world. That no human being can best her.
It's kind of one of those moments of self-aggrandizement where, like, you're going to buy ice cream and you need to feel good about buying the ice cream. So, making it feel like you should have had a team of Sherpas probably makes you feel better about the ice cream that you were consuming.
I just wish I would have known that it was open till 4:30.